What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin Cash in this video. Shout out to the Dragon Riders in the House of the Dragon. It is the 27th of September. We are about 3 hours into the new day and sitting at $357.60 right now, given this overall range from our high back in April of this year to the recent low that we had in the beginning of August here on August 5th. 272 low, 719 high. We are just breaking above this 236 here, just breaking above it. Generally speaking, given this range, you would expect to move up to the 382, and with the first interaction of the 382, you generally do expect to break just above it, right? So I think it's safe to assume that prices around $400 or even above $400 are on the table in the very near future, like right now, you guys. It's happening right now, like it's happening before our eyes, right? I would think that if not by the end of this month, right? This is the 27th. This is a 30-day month. We have 3 days left, less than 3 days left, right? I guess 4 days left, but right, if you go to the monthly, 3 days, 22 hours, so about 4 days left, left in the month. If it's not by the end of this month that we see this target being hit, this $400 area, 400, 430, something like that, then it could be the beginning of next month, probably the first week, but very soon. It's happening right now. I really do think it's happening right now. The momentum, I don't know if you can feel it, right? If anybody felt it over the past 24 hours, but it feels like everybody's looking at each other like, are you ready to go? Here we go, man. We're about, let's get it going, because we've been waiting for this. You know, we've been prepared. We've been planning and consolidating and adding to our stacks over the last 6 months. Hopefully everybody's prepared. I know that there are probably a lot of bears and sidelined people because of the anticipation of the Fed cutting the interest rates on the 18th of this month. A lot of people, I feel like the narrative was that it would be bad for the markets and we would see things correct rather immediately, because that's what's happened the last couple times. But it's not always like that, right? It's like flipping a coin. Anyways, I'm getting distracted here, but I would bet there is money on the sidelines. People that were expecting the price to come down. Maybe they're invested already, but they're expecting the price to come down and it just didn't. So as price starts to slip away here, you're going to get that FOMO pressure, and we're really going to start to see those breakaway moves coming back into play. At least that's what I think. We're at 357 right now, moving on up to $400. Let's see if we can make more sense out of that. I think we can, actually, given this range here, right? From a high to a low of this kind of bottoming range of the overall consolidation phase. 61869 is at 376 to 390. Okay, I want to draw a circle here because I actually have something in mind for that. But that $400 to $430 range that I was talking about, that's basically your 886, 786 zone, a little bit above $400 there, right? Previous areas of resistance kind of right here. And the reason why I don't think we're going to stop at the 61869, I'm actually going to delete it here just to show you, is because we've had a shelf right here, right, since we've been in this like lower portion of this lower portion, once, twice. I wouldn't expect that a third time we would come down. I mean, we could, it's possible, you know what I mean, but I just wouldn't think that we would stop there. And personally, again, I wouldn't think that we stop right at this line, because from a high to a low, especially with the momentum we have right now, that would mean that we stop just below the 618, right, the golden ratio. I would think we would at least hit that. If we're going to hit that, then that would imply, right, the 618 is just above, this white line here is just above the white line whenever I delete it here, right? That white line there, that's the resistance line. The white line above that white line is the 618. If you were to hit the 618, then you would look to break out of this. If you're going to break out of this, I just don't think you're going to stop right here. You've been consolidating under it since, I mean, for over a month now, almost 2 months, a month and a half at least. You're going to break out of it just to get here and then come back down. That doesn't make sense to me. To me, you would either consolidate here and then continue to move up, or perhaps you just move straight on through. And again, going back to that whole personality trait that the market's kind of picked up recently, a lot of things do like to just bypass their 618 and go right to their 786, and that's right around 410, which is just above the 382 again of this overall fib from a high to a low. Right, 410 was the 786 of that relative fib, but from a high to a low here, 395 is the 382. It's very common on the first interaction to go above it. What about this interaction? That wasn't before this low, or that was before this low, so it doesn't count, right? We were still setting up the range. We didn't know where the low was, so we didn't have that, right? At that point in time, the 382 would have been here. But anyways, that's beside the point. All I'm trying to say is there's a several targets and a bunch of things that add up to us going higher. It makes sense that we're going higher. We're moving up right now. I don't think we're in jeopardy of going lower. I like the weekly RSI. I like the way it looks. I would love it if this week or next week, or just really anytime soon, right? It can take 4 weeks. I don't care. But when we get above this 50, we don't reject it, right? Just like how we were finding support on it, or at least around the area, it was good for us. Finding resistance on it, I don't think is so good for us. So getting above it would be nice to see, and we're so close. This push up to $400 could really do it by the end of this week. If not, certainly by the end of this month, we could see, or if not by the end of next week, I suppose, because then that would be by the end of the month and by the end of next week. It'd be next week ends in October is all I'm trying to say. Either this week or next week, really what I'm trying to say is that I would like to see this weekly RSI closing above the 50, and not just barely above it, but like if it is barely, at least provide the next week to go higher, because I think that would be a real sign that we are turning things around and we're ready to go higher. It could get crazier, man. Just because I'm calling for this, and this goes for anything that I'm calling for, right? This is not the time to try to play short-term trades where you like take profits, right? This is more the time to each their own. If you want to day trade, you want to do your thing, that's fine. But you never know. And Bitcoin Cash could be the one. It could be any of the coins that I talk about on a regular basis. It could be a coin that you're holding that I've never talked about before, whatever. But any coin, whatever the expected, respected moves are, any coin at all could just do this at any given point in time. And Bitcoin Cash, the last couple times it's moved, has done basically just that. So, you can plan things out, but it doesn't care about your plans. It doesn't care about your opinion one way or another. This is what would look nice. This is what would make sense. But this is crypto. It's wild. Crazy things can happen in a short amount of time. So just because we're talking about these target areas and potentially finding resistance there and coming back down to move up, find a higher low, that doesn't mean that you should be selling here. Just maybe if we get up here, don't feel the FOMO to buy up here, wait for it to come down and then buy some stuff like that, Anyways, I don't know what I'm trying to say here. Let's move on to the daily. Finish this up. Daily. Above the 60. I like the way it looks. Kind of neutral but bullishly postured for sure. Oh, I would really like to see you continue higher, man. This would not be a good area to turn around. Not that it'd be a bad area, right? But you found resistance here a couple times. If you find resistance here again, that could send us back down. We're at 357 right now. That could send us down like $50 or at least $30 or so. The 4-hour looks super strong. The daily looks good. I'm not worried about this, right? Like this is a big wick to start the day off with a lot of volume, but I'm not worried about it at all. I definitely think we're going to push higher. So if we move down, my estimation would be that we move down to like 340, 345, maybe not even that low. And then we continue to move up. And at some point, we're going to see a more powerful move like this. Maybe it comes today. Maybe it comes over the next 3 days or over the next week and a half. At some point soon, we're going to see a move like that. And it might be stronger. It might be more sustained. It might push us all the way up again, like over, it could take a day or something. Who knows, where we could just go all the way up to this area or at least this area here, right? So something a little bit bigger than what we've experienced over the past week and a half, 2 weeks. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. If you like the video, hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to see more content. I will see you on the next one. Things are looking good, guys. Things are definitely looking good. And it feels like the tide is turning in the crypto space, that's for sure. And we're going to reap the benefits, man. We're going to reap the rewards. I'm going to do the thing that I normally do, which is I said I'm going to end the video, but I'm not going to end the video. I want to go here to Coinbase, right? Coinbase there. Oh, yeah. And then I want to take the high to low. Some people, I've questioned this before. People that I know in the real world and people that have hit me up on the comments on YouTube, but they say that I can't take this high to this low because it's not the last cycle's high to low. And I respect that. I hear that, okay? But I'm going to go over why I do use it. First and foremost, this is a consolidation phase, right? It's not fair to say that Bitcoin Cash is in a downtrend just because of its descending highs, just as it would not be fair to say it's in an uptrend because of its ascending lows. Of course, this is more dramatic than this is, but still it's consolidating. That's the formal definition of what this is. It's not trending up or down, it is consolidating. Being that it's consolidating, generally how I measure extensions across any time frame, I take the high to the low of the consolidation phase that tends to steer you straight whenever you're trying to get an estimation as to what's to come, So there's that reason there. Number two, this fib is still being respected even 2 cycles later, right? You've got from this high to this low, this bear cycle is still promoting respect 2 cycles later, right? You showed respect at your 618. You actually went all the way up to your 786 area here. Found support on your 236 time and time again, where you found support here again, and resistance at your 382. Closed below your 382. It's not ideal. It's not the most respect, but getting back above it, really what you did was you closed right above this closing high here. And in that sense, for price perspective, it actually does look really good. But I would just say, being that you're respecting these levels, or at least it seems like you are now, I think it's totally fair using these highs, using this high and this low to project out where our high and low could be. Now, if you want to take last cycle's high and the current cycle's low here to project out, the minimum expected target then would be $36.50 to $10,000, something like that. We do have the 1886 deep extension here lining up exactly with the target that I personally believe Bitcoin Cash is going to go to. Maybe that's next cycle. Maybe that's, maybe I'm wrong. But let's just base our growth off of all of these here, right? So from the current price, at a minimum, this 1272 here, I know it might be confusing, but just go with me here. That's a minimum of, by the end of the cycle, what I would expect a 10x to be for Bitcoin Cash, right? If you bought now and you sold the absolute minimum potential high, I think you could snag a 10x still with Bitcoin Cash at a minimum, right? Which means, like, if you had $60 in here, you could turn it into $600, right? $60 is nothing, right? $600 isn't like a large amount of money, but that's not nothing, right? You could do all kinds of things with $600, man. That's just $60, turning it into $600. Let alone what you could do with more money than that, right? If it went up to the 1618, the maximum expected target of this fib from the high to the low here, that would be a minimum expectation of about, or not a minimum, that would be an expectation of about a 28x, 29x, something like that, which is pretty damn nice. The minimum expectation of this overall consolidation would bring us up to about a 36x. And if we go to the promised land, where I think we're going to go, which is just above 20K there, we would see something, and this is also at the 1886 of this move, the 1414 of this move here. That would be something just over a 60x. I doubt we see anything higher, but if by chance we do, we have been interacting with the 200 level a lot this cycle. That could be an 80, near 90x. And if we go all the way up to that 1618 there, that could be a 150 something x. Yes, a 154x is possible for Bitcoin Cash by the end of this cycle. Very unlikely. I wouldn't bet on it happening. I also wouldn't bet on it not happening, because this is crypto, this is Bitcoin Cash, things go crazy, and I'm expecting some crazy things. We're all expecting some crazy things once we break out of this consolidation phase you've been condemned in your whole life. And I think you will. I really do think you will. One last thing while we're having fun here, let's just see. Actually, what I want to do is this. From this high to where we are now, we're 5 months in. Where were you 5 months in over here? 5 months in, you're right there. Okay, so you found your low, I guess, early on, but you still went lower. So that's I guess not what I was looking for. I was just looking to see if we found anything. I'm going to go to negative 5 months. Even though it's negative, it's the same thing. So it took us a little bit longer to move down. I guess we won't really know until 8 months. Let's see. Yeah, 8 months again. I guess that is a lower low right there. So 7 months, something like that. I bet, though, over the next month or so, we will be above this high. If not by the end of October, by the end of November, I would expect that we are above that $720 high. So this little last bit of analysis, just this part right here, is kind of moot. It won't be necessary or have any effect. I got nothing else to say, guys. I'm just going on at this point. So hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. If we move down, it's going to be nominal amounts. I'd expect it to be nominal amounts. If I'm wrong, if we don't move down, if we don't hold that 345 to 340 area, then I would expect we go down to 320, 300, somewhere around there. Probably not even, actually. Let's see. Yeah, not even, actually. Like 330. Maybe 330 to 320. We'll say that. 330 to 320. Yeah. Anyways, guys, that's all I got for you. Take care. Bye-bye.